Hello, my friend. This is Carrie, and you are listening to the Luminous Recovery Yoga podcast. I am in a beautiful park today, the same park that I was in last time, Laurelhurst Park in Portland, Oregon. We are having a hot AF day, and everyone in Portland is out, and it's beautiful. And I'm so happy to be here, and I'm happy to be here connecting with you. This podcast has served and does serve as a space. It's a space that I've created where I can talk about my recovery and the principles that help me in everyday life and how that relates to yoga, the physical practice, also the principles. I like to say something that I've heard one of my teachers say: we practice principles, not poses. So for me, this is a principles based practice, whether I'm talking about recovery principles or principles of yoga. Practicing principles keeps it clean for me. When I'm practicing principles, it's like having a roadmap. And when I have that map in front of me, I can more clearly see where I'm going, as opposed to when I'm just going on straight feelings or how I feel about a particular person or situation. That stuff fluctuates so much. I was recently asked to reflect on how my leadership stance has shifted in the last 5 years. And one of the things that I've really learned from recovery, I think it's tradition 12. I don't have any literature in front of me, but it's principles above personalities. And that has really helped develop my leadership stance, which is when I live a principles based life, personalities shift. They come, they go. There are some personalities that I like and some personalities that I don't like. And that could even include myself. There are moments when I'm hungry, angry, lonely, tired, and my personality sucks. And then there are moments where I'm calm and centered and I feel clued into the world around me and I have a shining, dazzling personality. But when I live a principles based life, it doesn't really matter the personality because I'm acting on principle. And so principles above personalities has really helped develop me as a leader. And so when living this principles based life and this life of recovery and learning to practice these principles in my affairs, it's really one of those things where I want to practice what I preach. And I'm constantly telling students, take a rest, take a break. If the pose is too much, find your wisdom posture, find the posture that speaks to you, the pose that helps you downshift. When you lose connection to your breath, find that connection first. If you're in a pose that's causing your breath to get jagged or rough, or, you're feeling that like panting for air, stop. And I guess that's easier for me to practice when I'm in a physical pose. And one of the things that I've said frequently on this podcast is that for me, the pose is really a metaphor for life. The pose is kind of the micro and the macro. It's what's happening right now. It's how you do anything is how you do everything. And so how I'm being in the pose is how I'm being in the world. And the pose becomes this little microcosm to see myself through. And so one of the things that I've come to realize lately is that I need rest, like full on. And it's the kind of rest that sleep doesn't cure. It's not about sleep rest. It's a deep rest. It's Shavasana. And my therapist always says to me, what's your Shavasana practice like? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? I don't rest. And it's almost, it's an addiction. It's not, I'm not even saying workaholism, like it's some of that, but it's like that resistance to rest is an addiction to how I see myself in the world. Like I'm addicted to my worldview, which is that if I rest, I'm weak. And I know that that's not true. Like I would never say to a student who was tired, you're weak. Like that's crazy. And yet, why do I treat myself that way? Like, why do I behave as though needing rest makes me a weak person? And yet I have this like thing in the back of my head where like, I just don't take breaks. Like I literally can't tell you the last time I took a vacation. And I don't mean like went away for a Saturday and Sunday night or like, but really took a vacation where I didn't work. I didn't answer emails. I didn't, I wasn't planning for what I was going to do when I got back in terms of, like I, I haven't gone anywhere further than 2 hours away from the office kind of a thing. And so what I've really come to see is that I need rest, like the kind of rest that sleep, it's beyond sleep. It's like there's a hunger that food won't cure and an exhaustion that sleep won't cure. It's something deeper. And so I've really come to see how I need deep rest. I need shavasana. I need corpse-like rest, like the kind of rest that means I need to set things down. And that's really hard for me emotionally because I've really been the type of person who finds my self-worth. My self-worth came out, and that's probably a slip. My self-worth based on my work, what I'm doing, like that corny cliche, like you're not a human doing, you're a human being. Like it's corny and it's trite, but it's true. I have been a human doing, going through all of the actions, and I could just feel myself as a nub, like a nub of a person. I have a friend who is a medical sociologist. And recently I was telling her about some of the things that I was feeling. And she told me that I have clinical burnout. Like she actually shared a presentation that she does. She gives this lecture that's about burnout with therapists. And she shared her slide deck with me. I was like, what were those things that you had said again about burnout? And she shared her slide deck with me just so that I had like all of the information. But like I have clinical burnout. I was probably burned out 3 years ago, but now I'm really burned out. So there's this question of what is there to do about it? And what there is to do about it is to take deep rest. And what that means for me, what that means for you is that I have to set everything down and I have to prioritize my rest. I have to set everything down. That includes making my podcast, that includes making YouTube videos, that includes teaching live classes. Everything that I'm doing needs to get set down. I'm at the point where I don't even have creativity left. Like if someone were to say to me, Carrie, teach a workshop, I'd be like, about what? Like, and that's actually one of the signs of burnout is not being able to recognize your own progress, not being able to see your improvements. Like I can't even, like, I have no creativity in me. Like that's really how it feels. It's like I'm running on, like we were running on fumes years ago, but now I'm running it's like there's a part of me that feels like a shell of a person. And it's probably not great that I let it get this far, but I guess it's how I learn. And, a year ago, I probably had an opportunity to take a break, but I had left a romantic relationship. I had left a business partnership. I had left a business that I had like put so much of my time and energy into that the thought of stopping felt terrifying and as traumatizing as all of the change I was going through. So I decided to jump right back into work and not even jump back in. Like there was no back in. I just kept going at full speed. And I thought that I was doing something different, but it turns out I was actually just doing the same thing with new colors on it. And so now the thing that's really different, like the thing that will be the different thing is to put it all down and to take a break. So what that looks like for me is I'm going to Mexico. I'm going to go to Mexico for a few months, and I'm going to relax. I'm going to sit on the beach. I'm going to do my very, very best to not make plans, which is funny because I'm not making plans. And then I'll be like, ooh, I could find myself making plans for, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do that thing. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're doing that thing again where you make plans and we're not making plans. So I keep making plans for my unplanned time. And I have to catch myself in the act while I'm doing it and be like, no, we're not doing that. We're setting that aside. Like, we're going to see what happens. So I'm going to Mexico. I'm going to rest. I'm going to do only what I must, which is take care of myself. And I'm going to take the summer off, like fully, completely off. I'm setting aside any timelines for myself, any expectations. As of right now, I'm setting the podcast down. There's a part of me that's like, oh, I'll be back in a month, but I don't know. Like I'm going to give myself the time to feel inspired again. Like when I feel inspired to pick up the camera and to pick up the microphone and to start talking again. That's what I really need, is to feel a sense of excitement and creativity and inspiration again, because I've really sort of lost that. Like sometimes I feel like I'm reaching so deep, like, oh, what am I going to talk about? And it's like, I have tons to talk about. And yet I don't, like, there's this little spark it's really dim right now. So I'm going to take time to rejuvenate, to get some sun. I've been practicing yoga again, which is just phenomenal. It's not that I ever stopped practicing yoga, but I was going through the motions. I was, mostly practicing while I was teaching. I was really begrudging about getting on my mat. I would do it, but it was like, oh, okay. And like, that might sound, silly or crazy, but I really lost like my spark for it, even though I was going through the motions. And so I've been going to yoga again. I've been taking classes back at hot yoga, which I really love. And that's been really good. Like I really need to separate my teaching practice from my own practice. And those need to become two distinct things again. Like I was really good and solid in that boundary several years ago. And that boundary has gotten really fuzzy. Those lines have really gotten fuzzy. So I'm rediscovering my own practice, like what it feels like to be on the mat for myself, not having to teach other people, but just to really be focused on myself, my own breath, my body movement, how I feel. And that's been spectacular. So I'm getting back on the mat, and that's wonderful. And I'm on day 373 of meditation. So meditation is going good. But I'm in like this self renaissance. Like I really need to rediscover myself. And then another big thing that's coming up is I'm actually going to grad school starting in September 2023. I am going to grad school to get an MBA, a Master's of Business Administration. I love business. I love being in business. One of the things I love most about having a yoga studio is having a business. And so I've decided I want to go deeper into my business practice. One of the things that Portland State University is known for is sustainability and innovation. And that's like what I really want, is sustainability and innovation. One of the things that I have not found in business for myself is sustainability. Like I have been my own worst boss. I work myself to the bone. I've never had a boss who worked me to the bone like I work myself to the bone. So when I say sustainability, it's like, it's micro and it's macro. It's sustainability of society, of structures, of systems, but it's also sustainability of self, like being able to get up day after day after day and do the things that need to be done and not feel like I'm burning myself into the ground, which I have not figured out how to do yet. So when I say sustainability and innovation, I mean for business, but I also mean for me. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm resting. I'm going to take the summer to rest, and then I'm going to go to grad school, and I'm going to see how I feel. I'm going to see if that spark comes back, that creativity, that feeling of, yes, I want this. I want to do this. Because right now, nothing sounds good, which is another manifestation of burnout, is that nothing sounds good. Like if you were to say to me, do you want to do X, Y, or Z? I would be like, none of those things. Like I don't even know what sounds good to me anymore. What I do know what sounds good is taking a break, taking an extended vacation, taking a sabbatical, if you will. The thing about sabbatical is that there's this, like, you're going to come back. And right now, I just don't know what I'm doing. I want to believe that I'll come back to teaching, but I don't know what that will look like, because right now my creativity for it is so diminished. So right now I need to back it all up. I need to set it all down, and I need to rejuvenate, like deep rest. That's the only way I could really say it, is deep rest, not sleep. Sleep is fine. I sleep well. I sleep plenty. Although, I don't take a day off. Like even like Sunday, which is my day off, is the day that I write my newsletter and produce my podcast. And, I actually at this point in time don't have one day that is dedicated to me. Every day has something that I'm doing for, whether it's my business or for my day job or, even working my program, all of the things. It takes up my whole week, and there isn't one day that is set aside for me. And that is my own shortcoming. Like I did that. So I need to rediscover what it feels like to give myself time and space and prioritize myself and take care of myself. And the only way that I know how to do that right now is by setting everything down, because I've really lost my way. I really just need to set it all aside because I don't know what brings me joy. I have lost my sense of joy, and there's this dullness to that. Like nothing tastes quite good. Nothing sounds quite good. There's this dullness to how I feel about myself and the world around me. There's a melancholy, a cynicism, and again, all classical signs of burnout. I'm just emotionally tapped out, signs of burnout. And I've been saying that I've been burnt out for years. And so what there is to do about that is to set it all down and to take a break. So that's what this is. This is me telling you, my wonderful, beautiful listener, that I am going to be taking a break. And when it's time for me to return, you'll be the first to know. So in the meantime, I've got, I think, like 180 YouTube videos. So, you could go back into the archives. Like I've made so many different practice videos and different episodes of this podcast. So please feel free to dip your toes into the content that I've created. And I'm hoping that lives on the internet in perpetuity. So take the time that you need to go through that stuff. And when I feel rested and rejuvenated, I'll be back. And in the meantime, take care of yourself. I love you. I appreciate you. And when I feel rested and strong again, I will be back here with you. And with that being said, I'll see you later.